Hey everybody, my name is Darian Dozier and welcome to Melanated and Meducated. Well, that is awesome, and I'm so glad that you brought up your family because my next question is how do you balance work and family, especially being a resident where you don't necessarily have that autonomy over your schedule?
Yes. So my first year of residency, I had my baby Ava during my intern year. She's now 2, and now I'm pregnant with my second baby.
Oh,
And
congratulations.
thank you. And so I've had 2 pregnancies in residency, one baby, and the other baby will come once residency is over for me. But it was I taught me flexibility, first of all. I'm very type A, I'm very scheduled. I like to know every detail and have everything planned. But this aspect of my life is one that taught me flexibility and that you have to go with the flow. And so I planned in the areas that I could plan in. We planned out our childcare. We planned out, okay, well, who would drop off baby, who would pick up baby, and how long will my maternity leave be? I planned out the things that I could plan out. But besides that, a lot of it was figuring it out as I went. And because I was blessed to match to a program that is very family friendly, where it's very common for the residents to have babies, they already know the process. I didn't have to figure it all out. And there were female residents ahead of me that just had babies the year ahead. And so I'd say, well, how did you do it? Well, what pump did you use? Well, how did you, change your schedule? And so I had a lot of guidance in that area as well. So I didn't have to figure it all out. And then my program was very supportive as well.
And that's awesome because, where I'm at, I'm pretty much like, I'm going to have one, if not more, children in residency. And so that's intimidating to kind of know, the stereotypes of residencies and of medicine in general, especially when you're choosing a specialty that's more of a guys club, surgery, things of that nature. So it's reassuring to know that there are definitely options out there for women medical students who are thinking about family planning.
Absolutely. The main thing is knowing that it's been done before. You're not the first, woman to try to have a baby in residency, and really, again, scouting out programs that will be supportive of that, even if it's in a specialty that's not traditionally a family friendly specialty, but really seeing about what the support would be.
Right. Okay, fantastic. And what advice do you have for those in medical school who are in relationships? I know that you're married, so how did you balance that out? And anything that you have to say about that?
Sure. So I found my husband my second year of medical school. My second year of medical school, we met, and then my fourth year, he's probably going to be like, "Wait, I get the dates mixed up. He's so good with dates." I'm pretty sure it was, but when my fourth year was about to start, end of third year, fourth year, something like that. We got married. Okay, and so I was dating in medical school prior to us being married. The main thing that I had my mindset on was I have no time for distractions. And I am only looking for what God has for me. And so I wasn't in a space where I would allow riffraff or, I wasn't in a Netflix and chill. And, if it works, it doesn't. If you don't text me back, like I don't have time to be worried about any of that type of stuff. So I was really focused on my purpose and my journey. And I trusted that the person that was meant for me would come along in my journey and would make it my experience better. And so that's what I was looking for. Any type of distraction, which just wasn't going to work. And so and that is a unique find because we're in a challenging field. However, what God has for you, I'm a believer in what God has for you is for you. It won't be hard. It won't be challenging. It won't make your life miserable. It will make your life better. And so having those type of boundaries up front for yourself will just make it so that you will attract what you're really looking for, and you will also repel the waste of time too.
Right.
So that was my experience. That's how I approached it. I was definitely open to dating because I wanted to be married. I wanted to be a mom and I wanted to be a physician. Like that was my dream, to do all 3 of those things. So I was open to it, but I wasn't going to settle, and I wasn't going
Right.
to allow any distractions.
Right. And how did you have, or how did you set those boundaries? How did you guys work through times where you had to study and you had to be the medical student or the physician, and you couldn't really be the girlfriend or the wife? And then times where you had to flip flop and you had to be the girlfriend, the wife, and maybe that took away from the medical school and the physician.
Yes, and so different seasons looked different. So as a medical student, we were both on the same page of we're going to get you to the finish line, right? And so that would look like him bringing me lunch to the library and just dropping it off and being like, hey, go down to the security office. I left you food. Oh, that's so sweet, or being like, hey, do you have 20 minutes? Meet me in the car. We'll eat, we'll talk, and then you go back and continue your studying. That was wonderful. It gave me an excitement for my day. But also, I had to learn as a medical student that it wasn't productive for me to study all day and all night. My brain could only retain so much. And so I had to create new boundaries where it's like, okay, I will study and stop studying at 6 p.m. sharp, for example. And when 6 p.m. hits, I will close the books, and then it's my free time. And if that's date night, then great. If that's me time, that's great. If that's a workout, that's great. But making sure that when I'm actually studying, it's productive study time, because just because you're studying 20 hours in a day, most of the time that's non-productive anyway. So that helped me to have more balance, actually, and to take a full day off. Oh my gosh, before I was, dating or with my husband, I would not take days off. And I didn't realize how unproductive it was, but being like, oh, okay, Saturdays are study-free days,
Right.
if that worked in that season,
Right.
So things like that. And then residency, now that we're married with kids, it looks more like making checklists. Again, a strict boundary I have is not taking work home. I couldn't make that boundary in med school. I had to study at home and things like that. However, now when I'm in residency, I do all my notes at the clinic. I don't bring any notes home. And when I'm off and I'm with my family, and it's dedicated family time. Weekends, I'm off unless I'm on inpatient and in the hospital where I work the weekend. Basically, family time is sacred, and I create those times, and I create checklists, around everything else. And if I need to wake up early before the baby wakes up and do something, then I'll do that. If I need to put her to bed and then stay up an extra hour or so doing some work for my business, then I'll do that. Otherwise, I am big on my family time being sacred in this season.
I love that. And I love the setting boundaries. And I love the idea of taking a break to be more productive because, I get to the point where I'm like, my brain's not absorbing anything. So I'm wasting my time sitting here reading. But I don't think everyone has that gauge and they will sit there and try to force things in. And then it's hard.
Absolutely. And I had to learn by trial and error in med school. I had to set timers and say, hey, Siri, set a 1 hour timer. And then when the timer goes off, I'm leaving the room, taking a 20-minute break, and then I'll come back. I had to do all types of different things to really make sure that when I'm sitting down studying, it's productive studying.
Yes, and I love the reinforced message of trial and error. Like you're not going to walk in on the first day and know what you're doing because you've never been to medical school before. So it's okay if something doesn't work and you pivot to something else.
Absolutely. Or if the thing that everyone else is doing doesn't work for you. I think that was the big thing
Yes.
for me is everybody's like, oh, all I do is, listen to the recording and then I absorb it and then that's it. And I take the test. I don't even need to study. And I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't work for me,
Exactly. And the worst part is when it's like condescending, like you don't use such and such, like no.
Right,
No, I'm figuring it out. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Your journey is your journey.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing the aspects about your family, how you balance that time, and now I'd like to ask you about your other relationship with God and how you incorporate ministry into your practice and into your life.
Yes, God is a huge part of my life. I really was heavily involved in ministry in medical school, which was amazing. I was in the dance ministry, and my husband actually was a minister at our church. And so we were very involved in church and doing different events. And the thing I love is that ministry doesn't have to look like and I just think this for everything. It doesn't have to look classic. It doesn't have to look like everyone else thinks it has to look. It doesn't mean that you have to be in the church praying, laying hands, making people fall out. If that's your gifting, then that's amazing. But for me, my gifting was in dance. So helping young girls dance in church and use their gift for dance in church was a part of my ministry. And then I love fitness and I love health. So, setting up health booths at my church was amazing. Even as a medical student, they still want to know what you know, you still have something to contribute. And a huge part I loved at the time, I was big into CrossFit. And so I created a group with my husband called Christian CrossFit. And so every Saturday, my gym would do a free class for my church members. And it was so much fun, but I didn't feel like I was trying to do ministry in a way that wasn't true to who I am. I was just using the things I'm already interested in and gifted in. And we would pray and do a scripture or a devotional before and pray on the way out. And besides that, we would do CrossFit together and focus on, how our body is a temple and that we're trying to, make sure we're keeping it strong and healthy to serve the Lord. So that just fit me. And I wasn't trying to be someone else with that. So, and that's how I approach ministry in general. What I love now in this season is I purposely picked a residency that is a Christian hospital and a Christian residency program. And ministry is very much already a culture here in my residency program, and they teach you how to pray with patients. And so I often offer prayer to patients when they're going through difficult times. When I deliver babies in residency, I offer the parents to pray over the baby that we just delivered. And they love it here because it is a Christian institution. They value that and they expect the doctor to incorporate that if the patient desires it. And so I love that. And I'll continue that in my practice as well, just offering prayer if it's something that is beneficial to the patient.
And I love that because considering this is a science field, most of the time, a lot of people are secular. A lot of my classmates are atheists. And there's kind of this idea that you can't really combine both. But, I think that there are effective ways to bring it, especially because I'm an osteopathic medical student. So our whole philosophy is mind, body, spirit. And so, of course, everyone has their own philosophy on what spirit is. But I think taking that approach helps you incorporate that into your patients' lives if they so desire. And so I just love that you have found a way to incorporate God and Christianity and religion into your practice, and you haven't made it something that's mutually exclusive.
Absolutely. It's offered. And the other thing I always remind myself is even if it's not something the patient desires, them experiencing me allows them to experience God. And so I can be a representative and pray. I can pray for them on my own. I can, just treat them like Christ would treat them and treat them with love. And I don't have to say a word about the Bible for them to experience the love of God. So it also doesn't have to be direct if the patient doesn't desire that.
That's amazing. And thank you for sharing that. And this kind of rolls right into this, my last question. But what do you do outside of medicine to maintain your health and wellness? You mentioned that you're interested in fitness and that you're very spiritual. What else do you do to kind of reset and make sure that you're not pouring from an empty cup?
Yes, so spirituality and fitness are huge parts of what refills my cup. Spending time, quality time with my husband and daughter and family in general definitely fill my cup. So what that looks like for me is waking up early in the morning, a couple hours before I go to clinic or before I go to the hospital, before the baby wakes up, and I have my prayer time. And I typically, outside of pregnancy, I've been a little tired, but typically I will also do my morning workout. And that really starts my morning off right. And then from there, evenings and weekends are for my family. And so I love planning things with my family on the weekend. That really refills my cup. Quality time with them refills my cup. So I think those are the main three things that really refill my cup. But making fitness and especially my time with God pretty much a daily morning part of my day to start my days off, really set my intention for the day and just give me energy and excitement.
Right. And so are you able to connect with other physicians who are also as spiritual as you are and talk to them about medicine and Christianity?
Again, being at a Christian residency program, yes, because that is a part of our recruitment here. They basically are recruiting Christian residents and physicians. So yes, it's very much the norm here at Loma Linda.
Okay, fantastic. I'm so glad that you have been able to find that community. And I think I actually had a service the other day where he talked about how COVID has isolated everyone and now everyone is trying to experience God on their own when you do it better as a community. So I think it's fantastic that you've got this group of individuals who you can not only talk about God with, but also talk about medicine because it's very hard to find someone who can talk with you about both.
Yes, yes. And there typically medical schools do have like Christian medical and dental groups. I can't remember the acronym right now. Yes, yes, yes. You can always look and see if they have one of those chapters. However, you know, you can always search if you're on social media, most people are, you can always search hashtags. I try to, you know, tag my scriptures that I do, like, you know, Christian physician, things like that, so that you can, you know, create communities either not just in person, but those virtual social media type of communities as well.
Exactly. Well, before we wrap up, I do have some rapid fire questions for you. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Who is your favorite artist?
Beyonce.
What's your favorite movie?
Oh, The Wood.
Really?
Yeah.
My dad made me watch that. I was like, this movie is crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, The Wood and Love and Basketball both came to my mind, but I went with The Wood.
Okay, I respect it. What's your favorite food?
Ooh, I would say like a veggie stir fry.
Okay. Coke or Pepsi?
Neither. I don't do soda.
Okay. Apple or Android?
Apple.
What's your favorite book?
Right now it's Start With Why.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, by Simon Sinek, I believe is how you pronounce his last name. Highly recommended.
And what is your favorite TV show?
Ooh, gosh, it depends on the season. Right now, I'm big on watching The Chi.
Oh my gosh!
I'll just go with that for right now. But I like Handmaid's Tale. I like a lot of shows. So
I watched probably a one show of The Chi, and I was like, there are a lot of storylines to follow here.
Yes. I just finished watching that one last week, so I just feel like that's fresh in my mind right now.
I feel it. And what is your favorite vacation spot?
Oh, Jamaica.
Okay, cool. Jamaica's not my favorite. I have to admit that, but
what is your favorite?
I don't know because I've been to quite a few places. I would have to say, as far as like culture goes, Barcelona was my favorite. As far as beach goes, I mean, I recently went to Hawaii, so I'm just gonna have to give it to Hawaii because that's who's fresh in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I loved my time in Europe. Barcelona was amazing, but I just feel like, I mean, I'm not Jamaican, but I just feel at home when I'm in Jamaica.
I'm sure they will embrace you. Well, thank you so much for talking with me. If any of my followers would like to follow your journey or reach out to you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yes, so on Instagram, I'm at Dr. Jade MD, DrJademD. Online, I'm at drjademd.com. And then our upcoming website for my practice, if you're in the Las Vegas area, is inspireprimarycare.com. That's NSPIRE, primarycare.com. So yes, but Dr. Jade MD, that's where I pretty much put everything for all my different communities.
Great, and I will make sure to put that on this video, and I'll also put it in the not the caption. What is at the bottom?
I know what you mean. The little
comment part. The description. That's
the description box. Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.
Thank you, and people can feel free to reach out. And congratulations on your medical journey. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. I'll talk later.
Bye.